Hello everybody and welcome to my Minecraft test world, and today I've got a couple of things to discuss with you. One of the things, which is the first thing we're going to look at, is something that I put on my map threads, but at the time of recording no one has actually answered this question. But I want to ask you guys about using portals in intersections. And what I mean by that is, I know some of you might not understand what I actually mean. I want to try and get away, this is in Global Nightmare by the way, I want to try and get away from the traditional intersection style, because intersections typically are a big circular room or open sky area, and essentially they lead to three different places. And that is it. Essentially, that's all the purpose they serve. What I want to give the intersections in Global Nightmare is a refreshed look and feel. I want to give them something a bit different, and rather than use simple paths, I want to use portals, and this is an example of a portal that would lead somewhere else. I want to make the intersections, because Global Nightmare is a big map, areas in themselves. Rather than just being an intersection leading to different places, they will be areas within themselves. Essentially, there will be massive expansive areas where you can feel safe to an extent. I mean, it will certainly definitely not be as hostile as areas, and there will be very, very few spawners, if any, in the intersections. But what I mean by a few spawners is, in each area there may be some dungeons, just plain dungeons, not for wool or anything. Maybe one might be for a book, but not for at all, not for wool. But each intersection will have a few dungeons that you can just go and do if you feel like, rather than trying to go after another main area, just actually going and just doing some dungeon crawling, and it sort of diversifies it for you as an LPer. If you're an LPer of maps, then it's a bit different, and I built these to kind of diversify it a bit, to make it like that there is not tunnels sticking through everywhere. And I think these are pretty cool. Each portal will simulate what the area is going into. So for example, this is one area on Global Nightmare. I'm not telling you which it is, but sneak peek for you if you're interested in, I keep calling it Global Terror, it's Global Nightmare. It's because I used to call it Global Terror during a lot of its early development. And don't get me wrong, this map will take an incredibly long time to make. I haven't done much of it yet. By realistic standards, probably about 1% of it is done in terms of planning, and that's about it. You know, I'm trying to work on the Frightening Forest at the moment, and then I've got the Simmering Sea, and I'm actually pushing it back to map 4 rather than map 3. There will be another map in between them, but I'm going to be developing this one virtually from this video because of how big it is. It's going to take me an incredibly long time to make. So a bit of a brief rundown for you. This will be a portal which will be in use. I'm not telling you the area yet, but this is a portal in use, and this redstone will be buried in the ground. It leads to a command block with teleportation code coordinates in. Yeah, fancy words. And essentially I want to get away from the sort of idea that intersections just have to be rooms which lead to other places. I want to make them places in themselves. What I will tell you is the name of the first intersection is not intersection 1, but it is actually Daybreak Springs. Daybreak Springs was suggested to me by a very close friend of mine who's doing, I think, a few of the names. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but Oaksy96, or on YouTube known as the Oaksy Games, is helping me out with names for the different areas. And this is going to be, intersection 1 is called Daybreak Springs. And I won't go into detail about what it's like or anything like that, but this portal will be in there. This is a portal of the first intersection. But yeah, I want to get away from this idea that intersections just have to be these boring places that you traverse, and I want to give some like dungeons in there, in the actual intersections themselves. They won't be like directly obvious. They'll be like in caves and things where you can go and explore if you just feel like having a break from some areas or having an easy episode. The intersection dungeons will be relatively easy. They won't provide really high powered loot, but it's a good way to get some loot if you really need it. So, you know, your stone tools and your food, the combat supplies, potions low, that kind of thing. They will be hidden throughout these dungeons in intersections. They won't be signposted, but you'll see them very easily. So yeah, that's a bit of an overview on the intersections that I want to actually do. Now these portal gates, each area has its own portal, and there is at the moment 3 portals to each intersection, as there would be a normal intersection. And what you do is you find the portal, which is relatively easy, you walk up the steps and boom. I've just set up the teleportation to go through the back here, but it's like you simulate actually walking in and through the other side. And there'll be another gate like this, the opposite side, but representing the intersection. So you'll be able to walk back through it to get back to, in this case, this square here. But yeah, that's how these work. I just wanted to show you these little cool things, and I want to get your feedback on them. Do you like them? Each area would obviously have its own unique portal. As you can see, I've started looking at designing a new one here. So each area would have its own portal reflecting what it would be like. And by the way, in terms of intersections, these portals might not all be directly accessible. You can't just walk around on the surface and find them. There might be a portal or two in caves, though those caves will be well lit for safety reasons, but you may find them in caves and that kind of thing. You might be able to have a bit of an explore. I haven't really fully mapped it out yet, but I know for a fact that certainly in some of the later intersections you might be wandering around and having a bit of a look. But I don't want to make it tedious. I will not make it tedious for you to find. They will be in obvious places. But yeah, these are these portals. I just want to get a bit of an opinion and a bit of a consensus. Do you like them? Would you prefer something else? Would you prefer the traditional intersections? Have you got any ideas? Because obviously this map is going to be unique. I'm trying to make it as unique as possible. I know it's going to be the longest thing I've ever created, and it will be in development for at least a good 6 months. But is this something that you would like to see in the map, these gates like this? What I might consider doing is actually making them double-sided, so they're not forced to be in the wall. You might find them actually out in the open completely. Like here, I would put another dispenser the other side, and you would be able to do that. That is always a possible feature that I could add to these intersections. These places, they will be signposted, by the way. This one isn't signposted for naming reasonings. If you're wondering what they are, there's some blocks from some testing I was doing earlier. You might not be able to see them actually. But yeah, I've not named this portal for this video, but they will have names, and I'm thinking of either putting names on a sign here or up here. And I will use a custom sign editor for that, so you will have like fancy text for each area. Different fonts and colours, that kind of thing, will be on the portal gates. So let me know what you think on those. Moving on to my second thing out of the 3, this is the thing that we're going to be doing last. Talking villages. Now, villages in-game generally aren't that useful. But I've thought it'd be useful for them, again, in Global Nightmare. And essentially what you'll do is, I'm not going to step on the pressure plate because I've just realised actually that I have set this up as an example to show you off what the first area is going to be called. Well, alright then, we'll let you know on this one. This portal gate is for an area called Tall Plains, okay? Bit of an inside secret here, and you step on this pressure plate, and it says here, my people were captured on Tall Plains. Save them, and they will each offer you a trade to unlock the gate for the item you seek. Please help me. And he's locked in there essentially, and you will be able to constantly go back on here if you forget the mission. And essentially in the Tall Plains area, you actually go and free villagers. It's raining again. Just been raining actually. You free the villagers and they will trade you one item, which is actually for this. I've been doing a lot of testing for this area, but yeah, they will actually be able to be freed and you can trade with them, and it will be an obvious item you can trade, so it might be like a piece of cobblestone or a stick or something like that. The idea is to actually free them and free them safely because they will be guarded by monster spawners. You technically could cheat and I'll show you, well, I won't show you how, but I'll tell you why when we get over there you could cheat. But in this map, I'm trying to mix it up between CTM, adventure, and partially puzzle. There is a very little aspect of puzzle. I mean, they're only basic puzzles, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to get a variant of the three. To try and offer something for everyone. You'll have a bit of an adventure and a storyline through the books that I put in all my maps. You'll have the CTM, which is the collecting of the walls and the books, and you'll have some puzzles by responding to quests from these guys, and then solving problems. Like this is a problem, and essentially you will trade with these guys to eventually get 2 levers. But you might get, I mean, the stick and the cobblestone was a bad example, but you might have to trade something to get a lever back, or get part of a lever back. Probably the actual lever itself, and then what you do is you stick them to these panels. So as you can see, lever, lever, and this opens a door, which is here. Now this puzzle, I'm not going to show you how it's solved, but I'll show you the redstone. It uses a redstone lock, and you have to put one lever in, flick it up, unlock the lock, and then put the other lever in to get through the gate. And that's what that villager dude was talking about. I've been using command blocks actually for this. So like here there's a command block and a command block over there. This is just simple redstone without command blocks. Just simple piston doorways, and using the new redstone lock feature to be able to create puzzles that expand. And you could actually break through here, but that's not the idea of it. I might even actually make it adventure mode using another command block, so you can't actually break through it. You actually have to solve the puzzle, which might be interesting. I won't make the puzzles too hard because I don't like puzzles myself. It will be a simple thing like this, maybe a 2-lever puzzle, and you just have to get them in the right order. So it might take you a minute to solve or something like that. I just want to get the puzzle element in there, and it just makes it seem more real, if anything. And this area would lead to another area. The areas in Global Nightmare they're huge. I have a few basic plans at the moment, and they are ridiculously huge. You know, even the intersections are massive. They are absolutely, they're like blown out of proportion compared to a normal CTM map. The closest I can actually resemble it to is Legendary by Vex, but even they're much bigger than that, to be honest. And one last thing with these portals is, talking of intersections and portals, I actually have a naming scheme with help from Oaksy for the intersections. How would you feel about having intersections which follow a certain theme, which are generally forest based and sort of grasslands? I'll let you have that, but they're generally based around that theme, but there might be portals in each intersection which don't reflect that theme, because obviously you're going to get teleported to somewhere else. You're actually going to get teleported to somewhere else. It's only working on the right pressure plate at the moment. I need to fix that actually. You might not have areas which are reflective of the total. So what that essentially means is it might not reflect the intersection itself, it might be something else. So I'm thinking, like, for example, in one of the intersections it might be like a grassy sort of forested area. This is just off the top of my head. And there might be a portal like this which leads to a snowy area. How would you feel about that? I know people often have this idea that the intersections have to match an environmental theme. How would you feel about mixing it up a bit and having some portals which lead to other styles of area? Because I want to incorporate a large amount of environments into this map, and I feel instead of just setting up an intersection with one environmental theme and that is it essentially, mix it up a bit, have some different portals, have some different places. That's what I'm really thinking with this, so I'd like your feedback on that as well. So yeah, that is just about it. So plenty of feedback for you to get involved with on the comments of this video or on the map thread, and let me know what you think. I won't be developing this for a while, but I just wanted to show you this idea that I had, and I really like it. I really like the teleportation portals. Tell me if you like the talking villagers, where you stand on a pressure plate and you find out, and tell me if you like these simple puzzles. I think you will probably be pleasantly surprised. And this map Yes, it is hard, it's brutally hard at the end, but you will have good gear, and I want it to be a long-term enjoyable challenge which starts off okay and progressively gets harder, but at the same time your gear gets upgraded. That's the kind of idea behind the map. So let me know what you think. I've not finished this portal design yet by any means. If you have any design tips or anything like that, or something you would like me to improve, whether you like the double-sided idea, then let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. So thank you for watching this episode of my test world. I know I've rambled on a bit with a lot of different things, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you will continue to enjoy these episodes. I enjoy doing stuff on my test world and sharing it with you guys. So yeah, until next time guys, see you later and have a good day.